Greetings in the name of Rastafari. This clip is about the hypocrisy that resides in the core of the American society. Now, imagine research has shown that receivers of organs from donors can actually have or feel some of the pains, memories of the donor. Now, take it a step further. They've also done studies to show that trauma can be transmitted through the DNA. These studies were done in Jews to see what effects the Holocaust had on them. I think similar studies were done on war veterans, people who went overseas to fight wars, basically mercenaries going on other people's sovereign lands to fight wars for capitalist greed. There has been no war that was fought for any kind of justice. Every single war was fought for capitalist greed. Now, with all these studies being carried out, it would not be far-fetched to say that the African planet Earth's only human species to have endured the things we have would somehow or the other have some amount of trauma transferred through their DNA and through day-to-day life, routine life, worldwide. We are the primary victims of murders, genocides all over the world. Indonesia, Amerikkka, Sudan. And most of these are fueled, funded in one way or the other by a white hierarchy, an evil white system. Why? Because they figured out that numerically they're less than we are, and physically they're weaker than we are, because our superior DNA innately comes with a higher ability, a higher human ability. And when these demons discovered that we were higher than they are, and being totally the opposite, because we're black, they're white. From the color spectrum, that's the opposite. And then in terms of genetics, we're the highest genetic or the dominant genetic. They're the recessive, the lowest genetic. So yeah, there again, we're opposite. We're totally opposite poles. So we're good, benign people, because if we were really evil, I don't think any white person would have been alive on this planet, considering all they've done to us. But we're not as evil as they are. So yeah, there are still a few white people surviving on the planet. So now take it to a place like America, where they talk about democracy or demockery or democrazy, as I like to call it, where you're supposed to have a voice, be able to speak up, you have freedom of speech. Now your freedom of speech must be in keeping with the status quo. Your freedom of speech is not allowed to offend the status quo. So when your speech involves or includes things like giving kudos and deifying people who stand up to the system, who stand up to this evil system, who stand up to a system that was designed with an ideology of a superior white being and an inferior black being, and then they came about with policing groups that were basically started out to hunt down escape kidnappees, because I won't say escape slaves, because we weren't slaves when we were kidnapped. They kidnap highly intellectually gifted people, highly spiritually gifted people. They broke them up, they traumatized them, they raped them, they fed them to sharks along the way. They literally tried to dehumanize the only human on the planet, because yes, the only beings with real hue, pigment, is the black man. And in spite of all that, here we are today, still running things, excelling in areas where they thought we couldn't. Proving once again our superior genetics, our superior everything, but we don't fight for black supremacy. That's not something that needs to be fought for, because nature has already given us that victory. Thus, the routine, daily, lifelong struggle of the white man. He has to prove and fight and insist on proving his superiority by weapons of death, intimidation, humiliation, mass murders, genocides, etc., in order to enforce his superiority, which is fake, which is illusional, which is delusional, because he isn't. Realistically, he isn't. You have to be a mentally effed up individual to think that the white man is superior to the black man, considering that 99.99% of planet Earth's evils have been committed by the white man. You could do your research. And I know that there will be those lame-brained, evil, demonic, low-vibrating entities who will come up with thumbs down and negative comments. And that is expected because you're not intellectually gifted enough to understand the depths of this rant, of this clip. So I really won't pay you much more attention than those few seconds that I've given. This is to the human. This is to the being who has a mental ability to reason outside of the box and see how the media and the entire system are all designed to create an image of a superior white being and an inferior black one who is supposed to protest his oppression and depression and other traumatic experiences under the hands of evil white systems and individuals in a manner that is pleasing to his oppressor. In other words, we're not allowed to say long live Mike or long live Christopher Dorno or long live Mumia Abu Jabbar or long live Assata Shakur, because that is offensive to them, and these are people who are considered cop killers. Needless to say that these so-called cops, 90% of whom have been proven to be active KKK members, routinely murder black people as part of the old Willie Lynch type syndrome type thingy, where they try to intimidate you and drive this fear into you so that you think, okay, if we retaliate, it could get worse. You cannot fool us all. We are a higher vibrating being than you, and eventually we will get to that point where we will stand up to you, demons, and we will shatter your illusions, and we will let you know that the head creator lives, rules, and reigns over you demonic destroyers of man and nature. Rastafari lives, rules, and reigns.